Hey everyone, Steven Rounds here. In this video we are going to teach you how to do a self-installation of Hypershrink on your own domain. The first thing you're going to want to do is log into your membership page on Hypershrink. Once you've logged in, you'll be presented with several tabs. First thing you want to do is check your software requirements. And these are basically the server requirements. Number one, the software must be installed on a LAMP server, which means Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Additionally, you have to be running PHP version 5.3.1 or higher. Now, if any of that sounded like gobbledygook to you, you're probably better off just clicking the link above and letting Hostverse install it for you, and it'll be up and running just as fast as your domain can propagate across the internet. Next, I'm going to mention that it must be installed on the root level domain of your server. This can't exist in subdomains or subfolders. Number three, you must have a domain set aside for use only by Hypershrink. And it would be preferable that you have a short URL so you can maximize the usage of this powerful tool. 48 letters, including the extension, is the preferable length for domains for use by Hypershrink, simply because when you're using Twitter or Facebook or texting to mobile, you're limited in the number of characters that you can send out. So the shorter the domain, the better. Okay. Then the last thing I want to note is you must have a server that can handle the software requirements and your traffic load. Baby Croc is probably not a good idea. Massive shared servers aren't going to be able to handle this software. It'll slow down the processing, and you really want something that's going to process quickly for you. Is also not going to run into a whole bunch of security issues that you might encounter. Alright, if you feel like your server might not match any of those, just go here, get your software installed by Hostverse, and you'll be done. So the next thing you're going to want to do, again, is under installation, go ahead and go to software download. On software download, you have two options. You can have software installed by Hostverse, or you can do your self-install, and you just click here to download Hypershrink. Once it downloads, depending on your browser, you're either going to see a little pop-up on the left telling you that it's downloading, or you'll see a pop-up in the center screen saying, do you want to save it? Do you want to open it? What do you want to do? And then save it to some place where you can remember where it's located. Okay? Now that we've downloaded it, we're ready to go ahead and log into our cpanel. So your cpanel login will look similar to this. Once you log in, this should look really familiar to you. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is check our stats and make sure that our PHP version is 5.3.1 or higher. Now, some people don't know that a lot of times this is what you see, and you're like, well, where's my PHP information? Just expand your stats, and then you'll see all the rest of the information. Okay, so then we're going to go into the file manager. When you go into your file manager for a brand new server, the directory is going to be empty, or it might have a CGI bin or an index file or something like that. In this case, the directory is empty. We're going to go ahead and upload the file that we just downloaded. And that'd be Hypershrink 1.0. And it's going to start the upload, and it'll take various times depending on how fast your internet connection is and how fast your server operates. Once the download is complete, you can go back to the directory, and it's going to refresh. If you don't see it there, go ahead and click the reload, and then it'll pop up. Select it, and then click extract. Once the files are extracted, you're almost ready to begin installing Hypershrink. Before you do that, you're going to want to go into your cpanel and create a database. And I'll walk you through that real quickly here. So we go into MySQL databases, and we will just call it test HS1, test Hypershrink 1. So we'll create the database. And as you can see, it tells us that this was created. Then you're going to need to create a user, and I'm going to use the same username here. You'll need to add a password and then create user. And this will tell you your username and password. Don't try and use it after this test because I'm simply going to delete this database. The last thing you need to do is assign a user to the database. Make sure that you assign all privileges. Okay, the user was added to the database. Go back. Now you should have been writing down your username, your database name, your username, and your password someplace where you can remember it. Once you've done all of that, you're ready to proceed with the Hypershrink installation. Simply open a new window, go to your domain where it's installed, /install. Click enter, and the Hypershrink installation will appear. This is your base URL. Don't edit any of this. It should include a trailing slash. Put in your database name, your username, and your password, and then click submit. So once you run the install, it's going to ask you for a username. This is going to be your Hypershrink username. And that username, I'm just going to make rounds. Alright? You're going to put in an email, rounds@gmail.com. And this will be the email address. Should you forget your password or something like that, that it is going to mail you the information to so you can reset things. Alright? And then you'll enter a password. Select your time zone. And then you're going to need to get your software license code. Now your software license code is in the members area, and I set up an example one in here. So if we go into installation, we can go right to our software license code. And yours will have a software license code in there. Okay? Pretty straightforward. You're going to want to copy this information right here, and we're just going to do copy. Go back to our Hypershrink installation. We can paste